tuning in. Thank you for the loyal subscribers. Thank you for always revisiting this page. At the end of the day, guys, is a great day, Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. Hope you're on your way to work. Hope you're on your way to school. Hope you're coming from work. Big up, big up, big up all the good, clean, hard-working people. Anyways, people, this is disturbing, really disturbing. We're all the way in Virginia. People, nurse got arrested for breaking 7 black babies' bone. Say who now? For breaking 7 black babies' bone. Okay, guys? This is troubling. This is disturbing. At times, we leave our children in the care of so many people that make up the healthcare system. We heard in the past, allegedly, that when it comes to black folks and black children in hospitals, at times their care don't go so well. We hear about discrimination. We hear about racism. We hear about all of these things that plague the black community when they get in the hospital. We also hear about when it comes to black mothers having baby in the hospital, their rate is higher of passing away after giving birth. But people, this one take the cake, like take the cake. This is disturbing and troubling. And it's a white nurse. Let's get into it, people. It's not about race, but I'm just saying, why the 7 black babies' bones and not no other babies? Let's go.
Nurse sits behind bars after, in some instances, newborn. In Virginia, a nurse sits behind bars after, in some instances, newborn black babies were found with serious injuries, broken bones. Enrico Doctors Hospital says staff found 3 babies with, quote, unexplainable fractures. 26-year-old Aaron Strotman is charged with malicious wounding and felony child abuse. My next guest is Dr. Dalashah Lee from Archpoint Pain Institute. He says these allegations are true. If true, she should have not been allowed to work after she was suspended the first time and they brought her back.
You hear that?
First of all, your thoughts on this case and just how horrible it is.
Because a lot of people don't know when it comes to, I have to laugh. A lot of people don't know when it comes to people in the healthcare. It's hard to let them go. You have to revoke their license. They have something called a license, and you have to go after their license sometimes to let them get their job. Getting them suspended, calling their job like in the past, or they're threatening me, yeah, I'm gonna call your job, me or next. It's a hard ball most of the time for people in the healthcare field to lose their job. Let's go.
That a nurse, someone in your profession, would harm a child like that, a newborn.
Yeah, it's a very disturbing news indeed. Our first, the oath that we take is do no harm, right? And so when I hear of stories like this is a truly disrupting and really sad, shocking news that I hear from somebody who we would help or we would hope is helping the child, somebody who's in the NICU where they're sick, they've got other things going on. The last thing you want to worry about is your nurse, somebody who you trust, doing harm to a child. And so I am very saddened to hear this news, and I hope that this person is not able to practice medicine if this is truly, in fact, this person was causing harm to innocent children and babies.
Now, we know she was accused initially by the hospital internally when they said she may have harmed 3 other children, but then a year passed by, she was suspended, a year passed by, and they brought her back. Was that a mistake?
It was, Isaiah. I mean, as long as you have somebody who has potentially caused harm, this should have raised some flags for the hospital. They should have taken more initiative.
And people, I want to interject. Imagine how many other black babies she injured and they blame it on the parents. Imagine how many black babies she maybe harmed allegedly and then call children aids on the black parents, because 7 already. Then she has more. That lady been doing that for a while. Some of these racist people just end up in some of these professions just to harm, just not to help, just to be racist at times. A lot of them, these people who are racist at times and they claim that they have power, they find themselves in these kind of jobs at times, because what can you do at times? Last time they turned a blind eye to it, they suspended her. She came back on after suspension and still working and break 4 more legs. Let's continue our limbs. Oh my.
And perhaps not brought this person back. She was on administrative leave for 1 year.
See?
She was paid supposedly around for all this time as well that she was gone.
Yep.
And then the hospital did its job of checking to see if there was something. I just don't think they did enough. I don't
They
think they
didn't
did
care because
enough
they were black
investigation.
babies.
I know that hospitals have ethical boards and committees. Sometimes, when these sorts of bigger allegations happen, it's the hospital's responsibility to make sure that they either have a third party, somebody else that's reviewing this to make sure that everything is checked off and there was no malicious harm that was involved in this.
From your research, what exactly did she do to some of the children?
From what I could see and from some of the x-rays of these children that were obtained, what I saw was she was not handling them in the right way and maybe being too rough with them or maybe pulling on a leg or something that causes either a dislocation or a fracture or something.
It's not about that she wasn't handling them okay. She was breaking their limbs now. That's what she was doing. But anyway, people, the family of the injured baby speak out and good thing they did. Okay, so let's get to that. Let's get to that, folks. Okay.
Several families of victims left the courtroom in tears today, including Dominique Hackey, who you just heard from. And while today's court hearing focused on the legal process, Hackey and those other families impacted are still trying to process the emotions of what happened to their babies.
Overwhelmed with emotions. I can't put my hand on just one.
Through tears.
I couldn't help but to break down for that father and that mother, because I felt how I felt when I learned that my son had a fracture and that was helpless.
Dominique Hackey shared the unusual bond he now has with 6 other Central Virginia families. He is one of the families who NICU baby experienced alleged physical abuse at Henrico Doctors Hospital over the last 2 years.
So this was Micah. And that was Noah.
My colleague Melissa Hippolyte first shared his baby's story in late December. He formed that bond with 3 other families at the court hearing Friday for Erin Strotman. She is the first person charged in the handful of cases the Henrico Commonwealth's attorney is investigating.
And to know that to that degree that, there was nothing that father could do to protect his son, it's horrifying.
The Commonwealth's Attorney Office notified all victims' families of the charges Friday. While these are not charges in relation to Hackey's case, they are the first brought in the NICU abuse cases they are investigating.
To learn what this person did, and it makes me sick. It truly makes me sick.
Hackey chose to come to the first court appearance.
Justice for my son. Justice for the other families that were affected, the other people's boys that were affected.
Okay, let's get to the other part.
Somebody needs to be held accountable, and it looks like that day is here.
Investigators have not discovered who caused physical harm to his baby. He says Strotman was a nurse to his twins during their stay in the NICU in 2023.
I don't remember her towards the beginning. I remember her being in the room. She was friendly. She answered questions, but she didn't stay and talk like the other NICU nurses did. She wasn't family.
Okay, let's get to the other part, okay?
Micah, and that was Noah.
August 25th of 2023, the day little Micah and Noah were born at 28 weeks and 6 days.
They kept him swaddled a lot. He loved to swaddle.
Dad Dominic Hackey took countless photos of the twins, so proud and so in love with them, especially after Dominic and his wife Tori were told Micah might not make it.
Well, directly after the babies were born that night, they told us that we might lose Micah.
Thankfully, they didn't. Both boys stayed together in a room in the Neonatal Intensive Care Unit, or NICU, at Henrico Doctors Hospital. Noah, in particular, thrived right away.
And Noah was healthy baby boy. He was on CPAP for maybe 2 days, and he was taken off.
But on September 5th,
So yeah, this was right after it happened.
the couple received some startling news.
A nurse was standing over Noah and was swaddling him, and just kind of looked back at us and was like, hey, I noticed that his left leg was not moving. It was kind of discolored. Told the doctor on staff. We got some x-rays. We determined that he had a fracture to his leg, so we are going to splint it for the next 2 weeks. Then she was like, do you want to hold him?
Dominic and his wife said no.
In my mind, because I'm like, I don't want them to say that, turn it around on us and say that we broke his leg or anything like that. So I was like, no, we don't want to hold him. We're just going to kind of process this.
This picture Dominic took of Noah's x-ray shows the fracture.
They said it was the tibia that was fractured. And so that little piece there is what the fracture was.
Dominic then told his mother, a nurse, about the fracture.
She's like, that's not right. I've worked in, like I said, multiple NICUs, and there's never, ever, ever been a fracture.
Dominic says she immediately contacted Child Protective Services to report the injury. Meanwhile, Dominic says hospital leadership seemed to suggest the injury was accidental.
That's what they told us.
What did they say?
That it could have been done because an injection was given and maybe they did it too hard and that caused the fracture.
By January, Henrico police and a prosecutor had reached out to the couple as part of their investigation. And in September, they received this letter from Henrico's Department of Social Services.
Following a thorough Child Protective Services investigation, this agency has determined the disposition of this report to be founded level 1 for physical abuse of Noah by an employee of the Henrico Doctors Hospital NICU.
Level 1 is the most serious level of child abuse or neglect in Virginia.
It was intentional, it was child abuse, it was the most severe level that it can be, and that kind of definitely opened our eyes to it, because nobody had ever said that before. Nobody had ever said, this is child abuse, this was intentional. When you find out you have kids, you do everything to protect them. You kind of vow that, especially as a father and my son. I vow to protect them and do everything, and I'm helpless.
Dominic says it wasn't until October of this year that police told them other NICU babies experienced similar injuries around the same time. But they said they couldn't figure out who hurt the babies. They basically said, we couldn't find evidence of who did this?
Correct.
How did that feel?
Angry. It's my baby boy. and I feel like I've done nothing to protect him, and that hurts. And it's pissed me off.
Still, Dominic and his wife were so busy caring for the twins that they accepted those findings and the hospital's word that they had instituted preventative measures like cameras in the NICU and more training to ensure this never happened again. That is until Thursday, when a friend sent them our story about Henrico Doctors Hospital pausing admissions to the NICU after 3 more babies were found with unexplainable fractures in late November and December of this year.
We couldn't believe it. Instant anger, instant tears, because it's not supposed to happen again. It wasn't supposed to happen in the first place.
Now, he says he blames himself for not reaching out to the news to share his story long ago.
That's one of my hugest regrets, reaching out sooner and saying something, because
Noah made a full recovery, and the twins are thriving at home in Chesterfield.
So we're not going to drag out the story at all, people. Not at all. We're not going to drag out the story. So we have to bawl out at this point in time. We have to bawl out at this point in time, people.
Something all right? Something all right, yeah.
So something to right here. So people brought us all the way from there, bring us all the way from there, people, all the way down to Jamaica to another situation in a hospital. We hear in the hospital in Jamaica at time it's this, is that, is this, is that. But you hardly see nobody that claims that they have $1 million, more than $1 million, them a billionaire, them a rich people. You really don't see nobody do anything to the hospital other than bounty killer and 1 and 2 people. I believe that country, most of these rich people out here can come together and try to make sure the hospital see fit or stuff like that, people, because what's going to happen. But anyway, Chronic Law friend, daughter went to the hospital and he basically said that the child basically was dead and they never told him he was dead and he was basically kissing corpse. and all of that. And we're just gonna get to that story quick and fast. Okay, guys?
Don't care. They neglect your kids. They're wicked down there. When I go down there, then they put a phone and not even pay attention to your kid. Them wicked down there, so.
In the ICU on video call.
Wicked people, them, bro. Them not a heart down there, so, bro. Oh, you feel know that somebody, but the thing mash me up mentally, fam. I'll be honest. Mash me up mentally, break me. No, some of that when the man cut my daughter yesterday, open to do the autopsy, the man said my daughter liver start decay. If my daughter is dead the 31st or the 1st, how the hell she start decay already?
She starts swelling.
She starts swelling her hand and her foot them as swell. Them people are down there so wicked. And them thing I need for out. We not keep it.
Blood that come out her ears.
Blood that come out of my daughter ears, that alone shows that she gone, she start drain. Shows that she gone long time. And them people are telling us to pray. Me I pray, me I do everything. Things I would have see about my daughter. I just spend a Christmas with my baby. I'm just here for New Year's Day, the 1st of January, so my picnic dead. And the people know that the baby dead from a long time.
No way. It can't be. Gail, you have to... I'll be in the car.
Boxing Week continues at the Brick, the Cindy Crawford home sofa available.
But Father God not sleep. And them left from work and go home to feed them picnic.
So you said that the pathologist is saying to you that her liver starts to decay, so it's a clear indication.
Yes, yesterday when we go do the independent autopsy, because they didn't want us, they say it's not, we don't need to do the autopsy up at the children. So there's no need because are dead or brain dead. So I said, no, I tell them, say, hey, listen, we go around this, so I make them know so we have to do one autopsy. I have money to spend. So we're not in with them in. So we take the baby, them not even didn't know. Like to the mercy of God, them release all the baby and not even realize that them release the baby. Because them tell me, say, we can't get the baby body till 2 weeks time. By them run, go check them, realize that them give the body and not even didn't know. The lady come out, hold up her hand and say, this is out of her hand now. Because them say the baby gone. If me never got do the autopsy report upon my child, who don't know say my picnic dead long time, that's all I live as spoil. Me God love the place a kiss up corpse. Dead body me dead a kiss. And the people know say my picnic dead. Wow. Me can't put on my baby and not make this out. This have out. They're wicked. And go home to feed them picnic at night time and take my picnic from me.
Wow.
The man said them fear give her some blood thinner. And then give the picnic the blood thinner and so comes the blood clot them come up in her and give her. Like she get a brain stroke or something. Mr. Bro, them wicked up the summer family.
Oh, so the baby suffered from blood clots.
Yeah,
Blood clot kill her. Blood clot kill the picnic. Them tell us their brain dead and when we do the autopsy, a blood clot kill the baby. The baby lungs have clot, her heart have clot, her brain have clot. They're wicked up her children, bro. Kill me pitney, broke me heart, me I tell you what you not even know from. It broke my heart. Them people up there so wicked. Oh, you not even know you. Them people up there children wicked, me I tell you what. So wicked people up there, some of them cool. Them do a surgeon there and them doctor up there so wicked. I better than tell us how things are going right in that surgery and make your breastfeed. You go one place from the may I tell us some local doctor about a present. Buy a bandal tree for me, yo. Yo, man, I tell you. What I said to you? You want a present and the tree for me, baby, I'm a baby dead. I give you from you and close them and they present them to people who want them. They're wicked up there, so bro. So wicked people them and kill off the people and come go on like say, yeah, if you just go then go. We have to file and go tell us you can't give a file because what? Or the no so the war will cover up so kill me baby. And in the name of Jesus it now go say you know. Father God I'll fix them and they're wicked up there, so bro. I tell you. The wicked people them up there man.
Every day I wake up and picture my little baby in that place. Right now I look at her sister, I can't even tell her sister that she dead. Because she used to fish and run up and down and play and pay her everything at the time. I have to keep that from my daughter, my bigger daughter. Them people are wicked and they're ruthless. Remember, I tell you, bless them, man. I say I'm crying. Nah, go invade. Father God, I fix Dr. Mooch and Chung. Father God, I deal with them. They're wicked up, bless them. Them up, bless them, run big experiment on paper pit now and then dead. They just fling the body guy or bury it. If you don't have no money for go do an autopsy report, you don't know what kill up it.
You're there.
What I say? If you don't have no money for go do certain things, I'm sorry for you. You have another lady up the fear son and go be a pressure. I have to give her all the money for pay for some tests for your youth. Them up there so don't care about you.
And them cover up for each other.
They cover up each other up there, they wicked up there, bro. You can't tell them, man. Yo, I say, I could have rewind back time, you know, make my picture do the search up there, so I try to get her visa for she got fired, but yo, I can't take it back. But Father God not sleep. And then people up there, so man, Father God must carry them down. Remember me tell her that.
So the tumor that she went into, Corey, was it severely affecting her?
You are going to in person, in Africa, in my eye, but them a tell you say it a push down. What them say? It a push down on her spine, because them a say it's the size of an orange.
Yeah.
The lady called me in at the place, me and the child's mother, and said to me, say, yo, Father, it was a bit hard, you know, because her pressure was up and down, but the surgery was successful. We got out all the tumor out of her brain. How the hell you tell me I get out the whole of that and when me go do my independent autopsy?
And that's why more time good, you have to get a second opinion. You could go to this doctor, he said something, and then you just try to get a second opinion. Because at times, more time, one person is not right. Sometimes you need second and third opinion, to be honest. Judge of God. Our condolence. Hope our little heart rest in peace, but it's disturbing and troubling. A little piece more, I'm going to hop off of this live like hopscotch. Thank you for watching. Turn on your notification bell, so when I come live and drop on the content, you know I'm out here, outside, and now on the ear side, yeah?
The man tell you say it's just a piece of the tumor and if the child live should have suffer.
Cha-cha.
Because the tumor would have grown back.
The pathologist is saying to you that the surgery that they were to do, correct. The surgery was worse if the child lived.
The surgery what them do because them tell you say they make a successful in and out. We are pretty alright, yeah. They must say everything good. We just have to wait for them for wait now. And the people them know. And yes, by the next day we come back. We hear say them have to rush with her, go down a KPH, go do someone, go you do a CT scan to see which part the cladding go in her brain because through negligence and they love them on phone down the like. Through them I get them pay. They no business boy or pitney. Just dep on for me say me go in there. Go look for me baby and one of them the man nurse them in there dep on video call on his phone. One Indian man, me don't know him name. They no business about your pitney bro down there so they wait.
A lot of times, some of these doctors are always on the phone at times because there's so much people are calling. Pharmacy a call, surgeon to call, other hospital a call, all these kind of things, especially if it's the one doctor on call. So he's always busy, you know, working. You know what, I'll just refrain from that. But when you really think about it, they're always on the phone and on the computer because so much stuff come in and out. They're busy people, to be honest. No excuses. I am just saying, people, I'll leave it here. I'll wrap it up here. Peace and love.